Phoenix here with the Serie awards of the season. Obviously been an interesting campaign. Unfortunately, my team Inter could not win the title. But of course, let's hope we can bring the Champions League. Let's get straight into the awards though for the Serie A. Similar to the Premier League, everything that we done yesterday will go through. And let's start with the similar format with the best goalkeeper of the season. Now, let me tell you something. We are spoiled for choice because every goalkeeper in the league, apart from maybe 2 or 3, I thought played incredible. You know, Suzuki from Parma won't even get mentioned. That's the level we're talking about. Every goalkeeper, in my opinion, performed exceptionally well apart from 2 or 3. Sensational. So it was tough to choose one, but I had to go with Zvelar for Roma. What a goalkeeper. I think he's got absolutely everything. Kept an incredible amount of clean sheets, great composure. His positioning for me is by far his best attribute. He's always at the right place at the right time, and that makes saving shots a lot easier for him. De Gea, unlucky to miss out. De Gregorio for Juventus, I thought was good. Sommer was decent, but if we have to pick one, it has to be Zvelar. The best defender of the season. Step aside. There's only one name. No debates, no arguments, no nothing. There is simply no other centre-back in world football that can do the things that he can do. And how much he has improved as well in the actual defensive phase of the game. Because when he has the ball at his feet, we know nobody can do what he does as a centre-back. But what he can do even off the ball now, it's actually become a very underrated aspect of his game. Complete. And I still think he can get even better, which is scary to think of. Best midfielder of the season. Toughest award, I think, to hand out. But I have gone for Reindeers for Milan. People will think it should be McTominay. Not for me. If you're going player versus player and you think McTominay's been better than Reindeers, then you need to find a different sport to watch. I'm sorry. Without him, I mean, Milan have had 2 players performing for them. Without him especially, I don't know where they'll be. I don't think they'll even be in the top half. That's how bad they've been. But he has been the consistently good factor for them. And please, 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 I hope he goes to Manchester City because he is way too good for that loser club. Best forward of the season. Between 2 names. But I had to go with Retegui. 25 goals in the league. The numbers speak for themselves. We cannot deny that he delivered on every aspect for Atalanta this season. There were cases where he had downs, but all in all, you can't argue with the numbers. Best young player of the season. No debates here. Que jogador. Oh, que jogador. Obviously, Real Madrid owned. A big surprise. I don't think anybody expected him to play at this level already this season. But he's an absolute bona fide superstar. He has everything. He's also tall. So physically, I mean, he can resist challenges. He's strong in the duels. And then what he can do with the ball at his feet. Absolute maestro. I'll be very surprised if Real Madrid let go of him permanently. There's a good chance we'll see him at Como next season again. I'd love him at Inter, but it doesn't look like it will be able to materialize, unfortunately. Best, or rather, player of the season. Going with Rangers, you know where I'm going with this. No, I think he's better than McTominay. McTominay, all McTominay does is he gets in the box, they cross him the ball, and he scores. Yeah, okay, it's important, but Outside of the box, there's no comparison to be had. And Rangers can finish inside as well. Much more complete player, Rangers. By far the better player. And for me, he is the player of the season. But it is between the midfielders. Manager of the season. Torn between two. Ranieri, if he started, it very well could be. Or could have been him. But of course, you got to go with Conte. Not many expected Napoli to win the league. Again, he performed miracles. He lost his best two players, and still he found a way to get the best out of the average players that he had and turn them into great players to win the league title. Don Antonio Conte, for me, now is the best Italian manager or best Serie A manager of all time. Let's put it that way. He's won the league title with 3 different teams. I've got nothing but respect for him as a manager. As a player, it was a whole different thing. But as a manager, incredible. Signing of the season. This one I'll give you McTominay. No doubt. I'll give you McTominay. For sure. I mean, Manchester United, of course, discarded him. And Conte and Napoli have got the very best out of him. You watch him for Scotland, it is perplexing to think how on earth Manchester United were using him as a defensive midfielder. Because you have Prem Tart saying, but he's performing well because he's playing in the Serie A. But he was doing this for Scotland, scoring a ridiculous amount of goals. It should not have taken a genius to put him in his best position. And Napoli, of course, as a result, have benefited the most. And for sure, signing of the season. Overrated, but signing of the season. Worst signing of the season. We've got a few options here, but we'll be mostly focusing on one club. I've gone with Douglas Luiz. Because it's looking like he'll have to leave Juventus. He hasn't adjusted whatsoever to Italian football. I don't understand the full details. Whether he didn't fit with Motta's system, but then we didn't see him with Tudor either. I don't understand, because I loved watching him play in the Premier League. I thought he was a remarkable player, and I was very, very concerned when he went to Juventus. But it's turning out to be the worst signing for sure, considering the fact that they also sent Barranquilla to Aston Villa, who's done a good job at Valencia this season. So, horrific business from Juventus. But that's not just the worst signing, of course, because when it comes to the flop of the season, it is, of course, another Juventus player. It is Coop Miners, by far and away. I say by far and away. You could have went Leao, for sure, because he's been horrific. And you could have went Douglas Luiz. But for me, Coop Miners, considering the fact that he was Juventus, or rather, he was one of the best midfielders in the league last season. He should have had no real adaptation phase. But again, players that come from Atalanta, there's questions to be had. Horrific how bad he's been. I don't understand. Shooting was his best attribute. This guy's been shooting and firing missiles at the freaking stands. It should come with a warning. All the Juventus fans behind the goal. My God, man. I'm surprised there haven't been any casualties. Horrific signing. Worst manager of the season is between two. Between the two Milan managers that they've had. I've gone for Conceição. I think Conceição has been worse than Fonseca. That Champions League campaign, horrific. Fonseca had them up there. This guy took over, loses to Zagreb, sends Milan in a qualification tie, gets eliminated to Feyenoord. Feyenoord, with respect. Feyenoord. And in the league, points-wise, he's done a bit better than Fonseca. He's got no idea what he's doing. He brought in all the signings in January, he brought in Felix and stuff. So a better team than what Fonseca had. And he done worse. No identity, no style, no nothing. I'll be very surprised if he's still Milan manager. I hope he still is. Horrific. Team of the season. Svilla in goal. I went Dodo right back. It could have been Di Lorenzo, Dumfries, but Dodo for me, exceptional. Buongiorno and Bastoni. It could have been Endika because Buongiorno has missed games this season, but when he's played, he's been basically unfaultable. Nuno Tavares left back. I could have put Angelino here. De Marco fell off. Nuno Tavares, what he was doing, even though he got injured, but what he was doing in that first half of the season, especially, I mean, he was looking like Roberto Carlos, exceptional. In midfield, I've gone with Barella, of course, has to be in the team of the season. Again, he's been in the team of the season for, I think, 7-8 years in a row. He should be there. I don't know if the official one has come out, but he should be there. Rangers and McTominay. I've then gone for Pulisic. I mentioned the two Milan players. You could have put Orsolini, you could have put Lookman. Pulisic, for me, if it wasn't for him and Rangers, Milan have only had 2 players that have played for them this season. Everybody else nowhere to be seen. If it wasn't for these two, I don't know where they'll be. I think he's had a very good season, Pulisic, and he deserves to be in here. Up front, no debates, Retegui, and what a season Moise Kean has had, because we've spoken about Retegui. Bought only for, was it 13-15 million from Juventus? Another incredible piece of business by Juventus, and he has looked genuinely unplayable at times with the power, the speed, and the strength. In the flop team of the season, goalkeepers, I've said they've all performed. So I put the Monza keeper in here, obviously conceded about, I don't know, 70 goals, 80 goals or something this year. Emerson Royal right back. This one pains me. I've gone for a German partnership at the back. Bissek. Yeah. Listen, it's a bit harsh on him, but there's no denying he's always been at the crime scene, if you will. That penalty against Genoa in the first game of the season. Penalty against Lazio. Against Bologna, comes on, has the ball back. He's always there or thereabouts, but I feel bad, but he had to get in. Hummels, of course, hasn't worked whatsoever. Theo Hernandez, Mr. Superstar left back. Musa right back or right midfielder. One of the worst players I've ever seen. The fact that he plays for Milan, I have no idea how. The two Juventus midfielders, Rafael Leao, another superstar, phenomenal player. Get the hell out of here. And up front, I've gone with Taremi. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. And Vlahovic, who, despite still scoring goals, again, has under-delivered for Juventus. Biggest overachievers, Napoli. Nobody had them really winning the league at the start, or not many did. And of course, they've ended up winning it. One of the worst teams to ever win the league. You look at that team, I have no idea how they've done this. And I don't think I'll ever be able to get over this, but alas. Biggest underachievers, obviously, has to be Milan. They were touted for the league. They had a team designed and built to win the league, and they have completely underachieved. To not even get Europa League football. Wow. Shocking. Game of the season. 4-4. Looking back, obviously, Inter were 4-2 up. Yildiz came on, gets it 4-4. For a neutral, though, it must have been spectacular viewing. Not as an Inter fan, I'll tell you that. Best individual performance of the season has to be Retegui scoring 4 goals against Verona. 4 goals in one game. There were some others, but if I had to pick one, I have to pick that. Most underrated player of the season, Rovella. Remember the name. He's being linked with Inter. I hope we can get him. He got linked with Liverpool as well. This guy is a bona fide superstar in the making, and I fully expect him to be starting in the World Cup for Italy in 2026, should they qualify. Most overrated player of the season. They talk like yeah, he went from underrated to now overrated. He's not good, I promise you. Ask any Napoli fan that watches them week in, week out. He wasn't good. He wasn't great whatsoever. Players bounced off him a little bit, so yeah, but honestly, overrated is crazy. He's slow, he's fat. Again, shocking first touch. He's fighting with the ball most of the time. He's losing his physical abilities. And as a result, he's losing it. To people put him in the team of the season. No chance. No chance. Biggest robbery of the season. Explain that to me. I don't want to make excuses for why Inter didn't win the league, but explain to me how that's a handball, how that isn't, how that isn't. That wasn't given, that wasn't given, that gets given. A week before Bissek is being held in the box, nothing given. It is what it is. It's nothing new. We're used to this. But they say Marotta League. Yeah, sure. Sure thing. Funniest moment of the season to finish it off. This guy thought he'd done something smoking a cigar. I'll be smoking a cigar when you get sacked at the end of the season. But you know what? I had to put two. Because this guy was doing streams with ISO speed instead of buying the proper players that Milan needed in the summer window. I mean, you can't even make it up. This is the image that I'll remember for this season, because the beginning of the end happened right there in that summer. Madre mia, big nose with the ego that he has, doing streams instead of sorting out players. Could you imagine Marotta doing streams with ISO speed during the summer? Please. That's been it from the spoiler. As always, if I've got anything wrong, feel free to tell me. But just like the Premier League one, I don't think I've missed.